ioEther. I got this.
Hey folks, it's ioEther and we're back with some more world tanks. As you can see, this is Extreme Unicorn Warfare in his Chrysler GF. And this tank has been getting some hate lately, and I think I've been one of the ones hating on it. But today, Unicorn is going to show us it's maybe a bit of a different story if you know how to use it than most people think. Now, the average well, I guess I should introduce the map and everything else first, and then I'll go into this. But anyways, of course, this is a tier 9 game on Westfield, and he's in it the tier 8 premium heavy tank. Anyways, so now that I've done all that, and I just need to say, for advertising purposes, please do share with your friends. This way we get more replays like this, because as far as I know, this is the first time the Extreme Unicorn has sent in a replay, and I'm really excited to see it. Anyways, share with friends and we get more epic replays. And of course, colorblind mode has been turned off on me again. Irritating as anything. Anyways, so a lot of people use this tank and spam gold in it and do well, but not really well. Whereas Extreme Unicorn is going to show us how you can use this tank really effectively and make it completely worth his while, as he makes a ton of credits in this game, and you'll see why over the course of the game. You also notice he's got about 60 rounds of AP loaded, and I'm sure you'll find a lot of that. He's finding the weak sides in every enemy so far. A little bit of auto aiming to help him focus on some of the shots when he was driving, but all these are into the sides of tanks. Now he's just going to push forward on 3 enemy heavy tanks. Now, yeah, none of them are top tier. There is a T10 up there, but it's like not in any position to challenge him right now. He's actually pushing on IS, more or less unopposed. Somebody hit him with some HE and did some okay damage to him. I think it was the KV3, but more or less he's just pushing on this IS-3, and an IS-3 is one of the hardest to kill tier 8 heavy tanks out there. That thing can withstand a lot, and he's doing some good jobs switching targets to KV3 when he needs to in order to pull out some additional damage. But you see he's done 2,400 damage so far, and he hasn't done anything but fire regular AP rounds in this thing. This thing's regular AP rounds only have like 200 penetration, but he's holding this T10 in place and continuing to put rounds through him without any fear of this guy returning any fire on him. Okay, good. Now that all of that has been finished up with, you can see that the rest of his team is more or less disintegrated. He's got some guys with him, but I'm gonna bet these guys are mostly here because of the fact that Unicorn has done 3,400 damage so far in this game. This gun hasn't really stopped firing. Now you see he's got HE goaded because he intends to go against the Steyr Waffenträger down here. That's what he's targeting. Oh look, a scout tank has popped up. He misses. That's the first miss we've seen him do all game, as he takes a snapshot at a light tank. Second light tank pops up, and he's still got HE goaded. Puts a great hit into him, and that's going to make that particular RU want to not get hit by this thing again. RU pops back up. Nope, not long enough to take a hit from us. We weren't loaded, unfortunately. And the Steyr manages to die by somebody else, but we're still got HE loaded because he's still thinking about taking on these light tanks. And these light tanks, if he pens them with HE, he will do about 420 damage per shell, which is enough that none of these guys want to get hit by him. Now we're currently outnumbered 4 to 6. So it's not a huge gap, but we're all heavy tanks versus mediums, and tank destroyers, and a couple of lights. These guys have the V range advantage on us because of those light tanks. And they can do stuff like this, where they're capping at the same time as the RU-251 is putting in flanking shots. But we also have to be careful because there's T-34 behind us somewhere. Oh, RU popping up in the same location he just popped up in. Completely, Extreme Unicorn was just waiting for him to pop up there, and he did. And gets himself taken out because he decided to repeat something. Now with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, we don't need to worry about the cap just yet. And you notice he switched back to AP now that he's not shooting at just light tanks. Now that he's shooting at mediums and probably going to be shooting at tank destroyers as well. Nope, the tank destroyer was taken out, my bad, as his allies continue. Those are 2 top tier heavies that are swarming down onto the mediums down there. Now, what is it in the cap? You can probably tell by looking. It's got to be the WZ-132, and there he is. Pop! There we go. And there goes the capture alarm. Don't need to worry about that anymore. Instead, yep, that's what I was thinking. It was going to aim at, firing at the T-71, taking it out of the battle, and he's going to look for the T-34-3. Because, again, weakest tank, he can take it out right away. Doesn't, in fact, hit the shell, unfortunately. Well, it looks like he's going to go after the Skoda because the Skoda's in plain view. Also, T-34 manages to get taken out before he could shoot it. He's going to reload in time to kill this thing, though. Yes, good. I'm not a liar. Yeah! And then he just jumps over the berm and goes after the WZ-132. He's dealt 5,000 damage so far, and he's walked almost 2,000, but I don't... unless the Tiger drives him back down, it's unlikely that he's going to get the final kill. You notice him platooning up with the ST-1, who's had 4 kills in this game. And yes, he does get the final kill. Unfortunately, not a top gun. But considering all the wreckage he caused in this game, in a very short amount of time, this was an amazing game for him. And this was one of the reasons I wanted to see this. And of course, getting the brothers in arms the easy way, right? Yeah, good job. Mastery Badge, Ace Tanker, Bruiser, Duelist, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and Shellproof. Managing to also pick up the Defender, the Brothers in Arms, and of course the High Caliber. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Fire for Effect. I talked about this a long time ago, and then I guess I'd never really brought it up again. So NASA, one of my friends / subscribers, asked me an interesting question the other day. Why do I mention the Fire for Effect medal when I'm talking about having a successful game, whether we won or lost? And that is simply because if you get a Fire for Effect ribbon, then you have caused your hit points and damage to the enemy vehicles, which means you're carrying your own weight. As long as you continue to carry your own weight, you'll see 90% of the games that I'm showing, actually I'm certain 100% of the games I show. Well, I guess if it, does it count with spotting? No, it doesn't count for spotting damage. So maybe it's only 90% of the games that I show. The person has the Fire for Effect ribbon. The other 10% will be they spotted more than their damage, than their hit points, but that doesn't get counted because Wargaming hates spotting. No, I don't think that's the thing, but it feels like it sometimes. Anyways, but so long as you're doing the Fire for Effect stuff, players who get those consistently are among the top of the players in the world. If you can get a Fire for Effect medal every game, then you have got to be one of the best players in the world. And so if you're aiming to get a Fire for Effect medal, and you keep track of how many you get on an average night, then you'll just naturally get better because you'll be going for more damage and more damage. And you'll start making decisions that will get you more damage. And anytime you come out of a game and you didn't get a Fire for Effect, then you'll start to think about why you didn't do that and how to do it better next time. So this is one of the goals I have every time I play a game. I make sure I get fire for effect, and then I can die after that with peace. Though normally I end up carrying those games because really, let's face it, the better players among us always know that is 29 versus 1 every time you go into a game. Especially on World Tanks. Grabbing the Brothers in Arms is the easy way, though. Is always fun to watch. Look at that. 5,500 damage dealt. And then the next closest is 2,200 from a top tier heavy tank. If you get 2,200 and E75, that's what, like 5 shells? Versus a Chrysler GF's 19 penetrating shots. Now, some of that was HE, but I mean, some of that was like finishing off targets. So, overall, that works out really, really well. And he obviously carried this team. Without him, this may have been a loss. It definitely would have been a grind. And not the, like, barely 6 minutes and 30 seconds worth of a game that we got there. It was beautiful. Thank you so much, Extreme Unicorn Warfare, for sending this in. I have truly enjoyed watching this thing be played the way it was. Now, it should be noted that everything he did in this game, or 90% of it, can be done in any tank. He didn't do anything that is only good for the Chrysler GF. He didn't sit in a line and just let people pound on his armor while he returned fire. He chose times to attack when they weren't looking, when they're otherwise occupied, and he snuck shots in that did significant damage and held them in place so that he could do more damage later. He also predicted enemy movements that meant that he was pointing his gun and his tank in the right directions at the right times. All of this is stuff that everyone can pick up and everyone can do if you spend a little bit of time thinking about it and practicing it. Thank you so much again, Extreme Unicorn Warfare. This was a joy to watch, and please send me more replays. I really want to put more of your stuff up on the channel. By the way, Extreme Unicorn, if you're wondering, I am filming this within a minute of opening the email that contained it. So thank you. You guys, however, won't see this for about a day after I've recorded it, so I'm sorry about that part. Anyways, so again, if you want to support the channel, bring more people in. I don't know how long Extreme Unicorn's been watching, but this is the first replay I've got for him, so I gotta assume he's recently subscribed to the channel. And we want more of this, right? Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out.